Good morning, everybody. Craig DeLeo here, and I want to talk to everybody today about the current presidential pardons that have come out. And I'm going to say this, and I don't like how the fact of I'm going to say things that are, well, against the Chrisleys. And that's my problem. I don't like going after individuals, and even worse is I don't like the court of public opinion because I don't know all the details regarding the Chrisley's convictions. So I will say that firstly. I don't know all the details. I know some of the generalizations, and I do know that they were convicted in a court of law. And I'm going to say I believe that our judicial system and our court systems should hopefully, and I believe very strongly in our legal system, did things right. Now, the problem I have is the fact that they received a presidential pardon, which means that they got released from jail before their sentence was finished, after they got due process, which is what we're all due, which, contrary to illegal immigrants, aren't getting their due process. But again, that's a different discussion. And they now have a clean record, which there's no number of Americans that have been through the process that I feel should be given a clean record after they've finished their time that aren't given a clean record. Now, this does not look like democracy and judicial process the way I should believe. This isn't individual rights and individual responsibilities. Now, I feel for Miss Savannah and the fact of, but in her own video, she says that she's talked to all these politicians and their privilege and their money has given them access that the average American doesn't have. And I will argue that they've been given access that the average American doesn't have, or wouldn't have. This is starting to sound like oligarchical garbage, not democracy and the proper judicial process. And this is where I have problem. Now, again, this isn't necessarily me having, again, I don't have all the details of the Christie's case, but the problem is my problem is a pardon when, as best as I can see, they were given a fair trial. Well, I know of other Americans whose judicial process was questionable, and yet they're not receiving presidential pardons. I see the sheriff that was also pardoned a few days prior, whose case is also questionable. And I question this because this looks like miscarriage of justice and oligarchical BS. Is a fact of, because you are public figures, because you have money, because you have access, you don't have to follow the same rules as the rest of us. I have problem with this, and even better is double jeopardy isn't, we can't go after him again because double jeopardy comes into play. And I have problem with this. You know, this is what the appeals process is for, which I do know that she had some adjustment with her plea or her sentence because of an appeals, because they went to appeals. But again, you tried to defraud people, and the banks. You tried to. I don't like this. This is because you have privilege, because you have money, because you have access, because you're on TV, you get something the rest of us don't have. I don't like this. This isn't fair and just. This is not everyone being on the same level, which is supposed to be one of the founding principles of this country and one of the founding principles of our justice system. I'm sorry, I don't agree with it. And I'm giving you my honest opinion, and please correct me. Tell me where I'm misunderstanding, because again, if it isn't something the average American can get, why should they get something different than the rest of us? So again, it's the imbalance of our justice system where privilege and power and money is getting you something the rest of us can't get. So again, Craig DeLeo, I love you all. I'm trying not to hate, but I love all my shipmates, and have a great day.